welcome or welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we're going to be recapping everything that happened last night on Monday Night Raw. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's head right into the opening segment with our Raw GM, Adam Pearce. So he came out to provide a physical update on our World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. But before he could, a video of the Vision came on the screen. They were pulling into the arena or the garage in this gorgeous black Cadillac Escalade. No, I'm kidding. I don't even know what car it was. But it was this really cool, like, cinematic shot of them coming out, and Braun Breaker was holding the World Heavyweight Championship, and then their music hit, and they came out to the ring. And so once they were in the ring with Adam Pearce, he said that right after Crown Jewel, he knew that Seth was banged up. And he said because of what the Braun Brawns did last week to Seth, Seth is now at home and put on the shelf for months. And he also said that he is going to have major surgery. He didn't specify what kind or for what, but he also said that the show cannot go championless, if you will. So he has stripped the title from Seth. And I'm going to pause right here really quick because this frustrates me so much. And obviously, anytime someone steps into that ring, they're putting their bodies on the line. I know a lot of people say wrestling is fake, and you know what? All it is just predetermined outcomes. But everything that happens in that ring is very real. Very real career-ending injuries can take place. Not that this one is career-ending, but it is going to take off a lot of time from his career, which does really suck. Obviously, we know minimal information on this injury, the surgery, the time he'll need out. But it is really frustrating because, you know, they did the whole work of faking his injury back in May, I want to say. And then he returned at SummerSlam. Or I'm so sorry. No, sorry. He faked the injury. It was after Money in the Bank, so not May. At that one Saturday night's main event when he faced LA Knight and he faked the injury, and then he returned at SummerSlam and cashed in on Punk when he won. And that lasted 2 months. And I was there live for the cash-in. I actually just posted a memory video today on social media, just like enjoy 72 seconds of Seth Rollins cashing in because I was injured. And so I think that, you know, getting to see that moment live, that was definitely the greatest cash-in I've ever seen, not just live, but of all time, in my opinion. And to know that all of that went to waste now because now he's no longer champion. He's injured and put on the shelf. And that's probably why they broke up the Vision, because of this injury, and they wouldn't be able to continue the Vision duties with Seth in the group. So it does really, really suck. It does very much frustrate me. Seth is one of my favorites, and I've loved the work he's done over the last couple of months with the Money in the Bank briefcase and the work injury and the title and the Vision, and just everything has been so peak. And I really thought, okay, well, maybe we could, you know, just get through Survivor Series. But of course, this is the third time this year that someone has to vacate their title, and it really sucks. But then Adam Pearce announced that later in the night there will be a battle royal to determine who will face CM Punk at Saturday night's main event, and winner will receive the World Heavyweight Championship. This is exactly what they did between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer at WrestlePalooza, when Naomi had to vacate her title because of her pregnancy. And so, you know, I just think that it just sucks. This has happened so many times. First with Liv Morgan earlier in the year, then with Naomi, and now with, I almost said CM Punk, with Seth Rollins. And we also saw on social media that Solruka, apparently something happened, and she's gonna have to talk to the NXT universe tonight. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. But now I'm like, oh my god, not another champion having to vacate their titles. It's just a hot mess. And I'm just like, why is everyone getting injured at the worst times possible? But then Adam Pearce asked Braun Breaker to hand over the championship because remember he was holding it. And of course, being the true heel that he is, he gave him a very hard time about it, but eventually he did. And then Paul Heyman got on the mic to cut a quick promo and asked the crowd, why is everyone mad at the Vision? He mentioned that he's watched Unreal and he understands the difference between heels and baby faces, and he's just confused why the fans hate them because they've already proven to be better than Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And then he closed out by saying, winners write history, and the winners are Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And I just have to say, what a great promo. Obviously, again, these are just cliff notes. If you guys want to go watch the entire thing, please do on Netflix. But it just really sucks and bums me out with the whole Seth thing. I think the Vision had really bright future, and we wouldn't be able to see that play out, unfortunately. So I just feel like all these titles have curses on them. I'm like, guys, don't win the title because you're going to get injured. That's what it feels like at this point for both the men and the women. But let's head into the first match of the night. We had the World Tag Team Championships on the line. Judgment Day defending against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. This was a really good match start to finish, if I'm being completely honest. The energy was high consistently. All of these guys have great move sets. So getting to see them all collide was super fun. But in the end, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee won and are now the new World Tag Team Champions. Now, this was the first time, probably since July, that the Judgment Day defended their titles. So it sucks that the first time back they lose them. But I'm kind of shocked that they pulled the trigger on this, to be honest. But I do think that there's a couple things that led to this. One, we'll talk about one side of the coin first, and that's AJ Styles. We all know that he announced he's retiring next year, and so I really do think that he deserves to have one more title reign. But until then, at least he gets to have some sort of gold. I think that him and Dragon Lee have really solidified their partnership as tag team partners, and I think what better way to continue solidifying that and continue to grow and be better than to be the champions. So I absolutely love it. And then I think another component on the other side of the coin, if we flip to the Judgment Day side, I think that we are ramping up to the return of Liv Morgan. I think what we saw backstage between Roxanne and Dom, I think they tried doing that right before Liv left, where they were having Roxanne be very flirty with Dom and have him resist it and all this stuff. And then for the last couple of months over the summer while she's been gone, they kind of dropped it, they ignored it, and now they're ramping it up again. And so I'm like, I wonder if she's gonna come back soon. It also makes sense because the Judgment Day, dropped the titles, and we all know that when she comes back, all hell's gonna break loose because Roxanne don't like her, Finn don't like her, and hopefully this just leads to the demise of Judgment Day, which we have all been desperately wanting for a long time. Also, this will allow Finn Balor to finally go back onto his singles career. I think he's teased a lot about Demon Balor, and that's something I think he knows we all want. And so I'm just hoping that Liv Morgan comes back, Judgment Day falls down to the ground, and AJ Styles has a fun tag team championship run. All right, the next match, speaking of Judgment Day, we had Dominic Mysterio defending his Intercontinental Championship against Rusev. Now, this was a really good match, okay? Dom truly is that guy because he is just majestic in the ring. And he retained. He retained in the end of it, which I loved. I mean, he always finds new, dirty ways to win. It's hysterical. I love it. And after the match, Penta attacked Rusev to send a message to Dom that he still has his sights set on that IC title. And I definitely do think after this little feud between Penta and Dom, Penta will finally win that title. And I'm going to rejoice so loud. I think we're all going to be so excited. I could see that probably happening either at Survivor Series or at the Royal Rumble. Maybe they'll have that match. But I'm super excited. I think it's going to be really good. And now let's head to the other Intercontinental Championship, the women's one. Becky Lynch defended her title against Maxine Dupree. Now, this was a really freaking good match. I mean, I was super excited to see Maxine, okay? Considering her amazing outing last week in that match against Becky where she won via countout, I thought Maxine did so good. I mean, she's been improving week after week. And it also helps that she was in her hometown of Sacramento, California last night because the crowd was all lit for her. But then, of course, just like last week, Becky wanted to quit mid-match and took her title and walked away. But Maxine did not let that slide. And then the match ended due to Becky hitting Maxine with the title. Now, I know that Becky wasn't going to lose that title last night, but oh boy, did I want her to lose it, because what a fun shock would it be for Maxine to win. I think that would have been amazing. Now, two title changes in one night is definitely a lot, so I don't think that they would do that. WWE is very annoying where they are only like, okay, we're going to change one title at a time, and it's like so annoying for no reason. But I do think that in time she will be championship material, and right now they just need to keep building her because the crowd is really behind her, not just in Sacramento but even last week, and on social media she has the support, and I think she's gotten really good in the ring, she's really good on the mic, she looks like a superstar, and I think if they just tweak her character and position her in a position to be successful, we'll definitely get those outcomes. But excuse me, I Becky is just, oh, Becky is Becky sometimes. I have a love-hate relationship with Becky sometimes because she beat the crap out of Maxine after that match, and nobody came to help her in her hometown. That really sucked. But let's just move on to the next match because I don't even want to think about that. All right, then we had Stephanie Vaquer versus Roxanne Perez. Now this match, it kind of ate. I have to be honest. You guys know I do not like Roxanne Perez, and I despise giving Roxanne an ounce of credit when need be, because I gotta be honest, this match between her and Stephanie was entertaining. I hate that I just said that, but I'm gonna be honest. There was good storytelling, good chemistry, a really good back and forth, and in the end, Stephanie Vaquer won. But after Roxanne and Raquel freaking attacked Stephanie, which is so annoying, but then the fearless one, Nikki Bella, came out for the save, and we haven't seen her probably since, I don't even know, Evolution. No, not Evolution. I mean, like, actually wrestle probably a little bit after that, but to see her out was just so exciting. And I will say a few of the spots that occurred after Nikki came out, not just from her, but from Roxanne and Stephanie too. There was a lot of botches, which I wasn't a fan of. It was a little bit messy, but it's okay. I think the excitement for Nikki in the building kind of just triumphed all that. So that's really good. But let's head to the main event. We had the men's battle royal. Winner faces CM Punk at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, this was a wild, wild match, okay? There were so many on the edge of my seat moments, if you will. I mean, the storytelling was super good alongside with all the spots. And once we were getting down to the wire, I literally thought Dominic was about to win it, and I was about to rejoice so loud that the other side of the world could hear me. But unfortunately, in the end, Jey Uso won and is now heading to Saturday night's main event to face CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the reason I say unfortunately, which you guys might be confused by because you guys know I love Jey Uso, is just because LA Knight deserved that spot, and we all know it. Even if he was going to lose, he still deserves to be put in that position to challenge for the title. Jey Uso is not going to win it in the slightest, but I also do understand because it is for the storyline. Jimmy, his twin brother, sacrificed so much for Jey during that battle royal, and in return, Jey eliminated him and then won the whole thing, and Jimmy was pissed. And so I think what we're working towards is a storyline with that. I think this is an easy victory for Punk. There should be no reason why Punk loses. I really do think he's going to win by 99.9% chance, or that's his chance that he has. But I think also not having the Braun Bronze in the Battle Royal completely eliminated any chance of Braun Breaker holding that title. So I wonder if maybe that's something they're going to hold off on until Seth comes back to have that match with the two of them. Because I do find it interesting that they didn't include him, because in my head, he was the favorite to win it, but obviously not. But that's the match at Saturday night's main event. That's probably going to be the main event. I don't think we have many matches announced. I mean, I'm sure we have like one, or actually we don't. There's one more Raw and two SmackDowns left to get something cooking for this show. But we all know it's going to be like 4 matches or something stupid, because it's literally like a 2-hour show on NBC and it's not going to be anything great. Anyways, let's head into my overall thoughts. I really did think this was a good Raw. My match of the night, hands down, was Judgment Day versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. This match was electric in every way possible, and we got a title change, which was really fun. My segment of the night was definitely the opening segment with Adam Pearce and The Vision. While receiving the devastating news of Seth Rollins' injury, the content in the promo from Heyman shortly after was absolute gold, which I loved. Overall, I'd rate the show about an 8.5 out of 10. So pretty high rating for Raw. I just thought it was a fun Raw. The last couple of weeks have just been fun Raws. So no complaining here. Very excited. Tomorrow we'll be back to talk about NXT, and on Thursday we'll be back to talk about AEW Dynamite. I'm still why am I Oh my gosh, why am I thinking Saturday night's main event is this week? It's literally next week. Okay, but this Saturday is NXT Halloween Havoc. So on Friday, I'll be dropping a bonus episode where we will preview and predict the entire card for NXT Halloween Havoc. On Saturday, obviously, we'll recap SmackDown. And next week is Saturday night's main event. Woo! The grind never stops over here, my friends. It is always a constant with wrestling, and it's nothing to complain about. I love how every week we have a big show. I mean, we went from Crown Jewel, Wrestle Dream, Halloween Havoc, Saturday night's main event. That's 4 weeks of specialty shows. And then we get right back at it again with Survivor Series and Full Gear. And I'm gonna keep rambling, but I'm very excited. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy of what you love. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.